I tell you, oh man, this YouTube thing is driving me nuts. You're now about to whispers. You're also straight. I don't know where we're going with this. I'm all discombobulated. You don't have any clue. I can't believe this syndication. Stigmata, intro, all of nothing. Still available from Revelation, guessing. And your Beach, California. City. He's at the nightclub, shoot your car with a hammer, and while you may approach him out of town on a rail, people that were so scared of him, it's Central Florida, home everybody's family. This is version, urgent number 3, 7, 6. I don't know. Let Bob Ryder see what's in. Hold on a little bit louder. After Bob sing this run. Can't see what I got here. Come on. Amen. Amen. Dumbass. Yeah. Wait a second. It's a Bob Simmons in. Yeah, here's a taking that.
I'm on my way back nowhere. I took my time but I could not seem to get.
I'm thinking real good, you'll see. I'm thinking a real good look. I can't fix it.
I'm on my way back there.
Here, go back to some always nothing. All right. This Poland thing is, I don't know. Let's hope we get through it. Let's hope. let's just hope. Candy Escami, I'm guessing it's not as quiet as it was because I got this mouth thing here. You know what's funny about where I am right now? Every night I hear police sirens, fire trucks, fireworks, and screaming. It is pretty much just like I'm in East Palo Alto. So it's very strange. I'm not in Spain now, though. You know, like I said, this is Jesus Christ. What the hell is that? This is Poland. And I don't know how long the Wi-Fi is going to last, so we'll just jump in the show. I will not castigate people for not paying for the show, even though there have been many who have. TM, you guys should thank him. Kiss his ass copiously. Him, Tommy Pounds, those of you who subscribe, Fozzie, Candy, a bunch of you have paid, and June is still trying to figure out how to get us off of YouTube. But until then, it's $4.40 a month, and that's what I gotta pay, and that's the VIG. So if you're not paying it, I'm paying it, and that seems kind of ridiculous. Chip in if you can. But so I'm sitting around, and I am a student of the streets, right? Now I remember at one point coming back from Japan. I was in Narita Airport, and the last thing, you're getting emotional because you have these love affairs with these countries. You don't want to leave. You're getting emotional because I gotta leave. You had such a good time. You're gonna miss your friends. In this case, the band was 5471, the band that we toured with in Japan, and we're just sitting there. They've dropped us off, and so we kind of fucked off and just sitting there, kind of trying to collect our thoughts. And some loudmouth American comes up to us and starts complaining about Japan. And he's a tall guy. He goes, "They don't even look at you here." And I was like, "You don't have the sensitivity and the discernment to know you're too slow to see that they are looking at you. They're looking at you and judging you and looking away before you've registered what's happened. You have to be super, unless you're a student of the streets, you don't see it." So then I'm thinking like, okay, well, let me as a student in the streets, let me check out how people are checking me out. You know what I mean? Because how do I vibe? Do I vibe as an African? Do I vibe as an American? And then it's creepy and it's eerie. Like, you live in America for fucking 62 years and you figure, hey, this is just the place I live. But it's in your clothes. It's in the way you move, the way you talk. Some guy came up to me in Kansas City, Missouri, at the Bunwell show, and he opened his mouth, and within 3 seconds, I knew the guy was from California because I said to him, "Where are you from?" Now he's an Asian guy, and he could have taken that the wrong way. Like I was saying, "Oh, well, you think just because I'm Asian, I don't speak English?" But he knew right away what I meant because he was like, "Riverside." I was like, I fucking knew it. I knew it. I could hear the California in your voice. We're used to Californians having a non-accent, but at this point now, I could not only heard it with him, but I heard what my voice did when I started talking to him. So apparently it's a very subtle, graceful thing, this California accent, but you have it. So you wondered how you're vibing. So I'm walking around Japan and Tokyo at odd points or another, being followed around by laughing, tittering schoolgirls. It didn't seem to be, horrifying. It didn't seem to be, I didn't feel in peril. In Poland, I remember walking along and some car guys pulls up, screech to a halt, and they scream out, "Black guy!" Now, I don't know a lot of Polish, but I always make sure I learn enough so that I can tell if I'm about to get waylaid. And they said black guy. They didn't say the other word, right? I've learned in Polish as well. So they were just excited to see me here, right? I mean, it's 98% racially homogenous. So they, even the right wing parties here, when they start talking about immigration, they're talking about Ukrainians. To a lesser degree, they're talking maybe about the Vietnamese and Bangladeshis, who you sometimes every now and then in the city will see them selling trinkets and knickknacks on the street, but you don't see shit. Now, I told you last year on the show, I told you about sitting at a sidewalk cafe, and there's like a 60-yard, like a boulevard, and there's nothing, it's on the other side, maybe not 60, that's an example, maybe about 30 yards from one side of the street to the other. And I see this guy, and believe me, you don't feel like you're seen, but if it's a place that's 98% racially homogenous, people seeing me, there's not even a fucking parallel. There's not, it's like, it's not even a fucking parallel. Like if ET came in on the bicycle with the glowing finger, into your place of work, and you would be like, "Oh shit, everybody, that's ET," and they would be like, "ET, big deal, big ET, big deal." But so the guy sees me, I see him see me, and I'm just watching him. I got on sunglasses, so it can't be, you can't really see but he knows because I'm tracking him, right? So I'm like looking, and my eyes are following. And then when he's pretty sure after the second, head adjustment, so there's 1, 2, 3. After the third head adjustment, he knows I'm looking at him, and he kind of leans his head down like he's smiling, and he goes, "Hey." And I look at it, and I just kind of nod like, "Hello." Yeah, no, I got your number. So I'm on the beach today with the kid, minding my own business. Now the beaches here, it's the Baltic Sea. So it's not super salty water. It's slightly salty water. But it's right, it doesn't taste like the ocean. It doesn't vibe like the ocean, right? It's got little waves. Today it was super windy, so the waves are actually sizable. Not California sizable, no. New York sizable, no. Maybe a little bit like Jersey if you ever got to Jersey Shore. And this couple sits down next to us. It's me and the kid. And this couple put out that, they have these things called paravans, that you hammer into, to create a wind baffle and some sort of privacy around yourself on the beach. And so some other couple with kids sits down, sort of next to me, close by, and take their clothes off. They put out their beach towels. And the woman keeps looking at me. All right, whatever. I'm seeing her. I got shades on, sunglasses, but I know she's looking at me. And finally she goes, "Hi." And I nod my head. And she goes, then she gets nervous. She goes, "English?" And I go, "I speak English, yes." And she goes, oh, you're an American. Where you from? And I never say if I why she knows I'm American, I don't say USA. And I said, well, I used to live in California, but I'm from New York. And she goes, oh. Now I've had a conversation with another guy, and he's California. He didn't know. He goes, New York, the capital of the world. He was so excited to. So, we talked about she had relatives in Newark. They're going to go visit. They haven't gone yet because they don't have enough money to take all the kids. And but nice conversation, completely fucking normal. But it's weird in a place, you don't see racial identity issues coming up in a place that's 98%. Maybe because they're not feeling that they're a long way from, maybe they would feel very different if it was 50%. Like California is, or is it California or the U.S. in total that is reported to be like it will be minority majority in 5 years, which means, white folks won't make up the majority of people living in the U.S. It's like, are people legitimately panicked about that? I mean, maybe given that the black population of the U.S. is 13%, maybe I've just gotten used to it. Maybe if the population of America was, was 98%, if I was living in Africa and it had dropped and 50%, 48% of the people moving into the country are white, maybe I would feel some sort of panic. But, the things I haven't felt panic about, and I haven't felt panic about gentrification, and I haven't felt panic about immigration. These are the two shuns that I don't feel panicked about because for whatever reason, I mean, I lived in the murder capital of America. My last house, I just sold in what used to be the murder capital of America. And I have to tell you, honest to God, despite the fact that I am heavily fear motivated, I was not theoretically panicked. Right. I mean, they're crackheads running through my front yard with guns. That's a legitimate fucking panic thing. Right. And I wasn't panicked about that either. It was just like, oh, shit, there's Bob across the street and he's got a gun. It's OK. He's not pointing a gun at me. The New Yorker me is like, it's not my problem. Right. So but it's weird. So people look at you, they acknowledge your existence. Like it would be a terrible place. Poland would be a terrible place for me to be a bank robber. I think I've said that before. It's not on my career path, but this is, and it almost makes me want to learn Polish outside of the fact that Polish is routinely one of the most difficult, cited as one of the most difficult languages to learn. Like, you conjugate verbs in English. I think there are 3 ways you can do that. It's very easy. It's 7 or to 9 different ways in a 32-letter fucking alphabet here. So forget it. They have words separated that mean the same thing, separated by 1 letter. People who speak English, oh, you think English is that easy? Whatever. Sorry. Well, I'm okay. Because if I speak Polish, I can only speak to Polish people. Whatever show this is, what number is this? What is this, 376? I don't remember. Because they don't show it to you. They don't show it to you, That was so stupid. Yeah, Vic was so stupid. He's right up there with the Aaron, the guy, Hernandez, who decided he wanted to gangbang versus keep making that NFL money. But anyway, Tuesday, you got If the Shoes Fit. The new Bad Boss Brief should be out Wednesday. It is about the Get Away with Murder guy. And Black House Records is where you go to pre-order. The Get Away with Murder guy. And it was the first show where Stephanie and I were actually at loggerheads because I was the Get Away with Murder guy. So I had feelings about it. And it was based on a viewer's question about, well, what should we do about those Get Away with Murder guys? Usually they're A-list performers, and they through some combination of being A-list performers and kissing the boss's ass, they can get away with anything. Should we allow them to continue to do so? And so we had a different take on that. So probably whitely. So that's Wednesday. So Tuesday, Tuesday, If the Shoes Fit. Wednesday, Bad Boys Brief. Information magazine presently available. Pre-order for Whipping Boy Disillusion. The remix of Muru Muru is out. You should get that shit. It's at the end of the Substack. If you haven't already subscribed to the Substack, you should. It's free. You can pay if you choose to, but whatever. Anyway, I'm done. I'm gonna have some cake and then go to sleep. I gotta hit the gym tomorrow. Thanks for listening. I can't scream because the kid is asleep right here, but you know how it ended, and I would end it something like this. Look what you made me do. Don't die, bloody. Don't die. See you next week, bros. Don't die. Don't die.
Thanks for joining us this week for yet another episode of the Stomper podcast, featuring your host, Eugene S. Robinson. Follow Eugene's weekly newsletter, which is a soaring hit, over at eugenesrobinson.substack.com. If you're still hanging on to Twitter, he's there at Eugene S. Robinson. While you're at it, you can follow him on Insta at Mr. Sleep 3. That's the number 3. For more episodes of the show that seemingly never ends, go to showstopperpodcast.substack.com. Eventually, it will house all the Knuckle Up archives we can locate. We already have all the jiu-jitsu breakdowns for free. Check out Eugene on the Bad Boss Brief podcast, as well as the If the Shoes Fit podcast. Pick up his memoir, A Walk Across Dirty Water and Straight into Murderer's Row, today, and be sure to leave him a much appreciated, honest Amazon review. Hey, are you still there? I'm here too. This is me, June M. Williams, Eugene's producer. The Stomper has been produced since 2015 by Original Designs, owned and operated by myself, June M. Williams. I provide Eugene with things like videography, original show graphics, motion graphics, show logos, podcast syndication, social media, and more. I can be reached at orijunels@gmail.com, which is spelled ORIJUNELS@gmail.com.